What's going on, world? It's your girl, Nefertiti, aka Nephi Raps. Listen, baby, we back for yet another super dope show for y'all. Y'all know we bring y'all the hottest, dopest independent artists, not only from right here in the Triple D, but we all over with it, baby. And we got another super dope guest today. I'm excited to have on the show, representing the West Coast, Marcus V. What's going on?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on the show. So I know you rep in the West. Tell us exactly where you're from today.
I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from San Francisco, Oakland. Those type of areas.
Okay. Shout out to the Bay. It's mad love, mad vibes over there. So tell us, Marcus V, how was it for you growing up in the Bay?
Uh, there's positives and negatives with everything, but for the most part, it was cool. When the hike movement was going on and stuff like that, it was really crazy out here. And then it kind of died down, and then IMSU got it back popping again, and Euphoria got it back popping again. So it's going crazy right now.
Okay. Okay, dope. Shout out the hyphy movement. I know the vibes a little bit when it comes to
Yeah.
that, trying to be hip. All right, bet. So tell us, for our listeners that may not be familiar with your music and your brand, how did you get into making music?
Well, I started when I was like 14, 15 years old in high school. I was in a group called Unrivaled. We actually moved to Atlanta to try to make it work. Unfortunately, the group broke up, and I started making music on my own. I moved back to the Bay at that point, and I started making music on my own. Um, I gave up music. I had my son. I gave up music for about 5, 6 years, but with like a lot of fans reaching out to me, friends close to me, and saying, "Mark, you got to get back to doing this music thing. Your music was going crazy." I started going, making music again. So it's been like about 4 or 5 months when I've been making consistent music.
Okay. All right, bet. So your family and your friends kind of kept that gas behind you to keep going. Is family like a real important, pivotal part of your life?
Yeah. So it wasn't just fans. I mean, not family and friends, but it was also fans too. Like fans
Mm-hmm.
would like DM me, like, "When's your next song gonna drop? We've been waiting for a mixtape for all these years. We never got any music from you." So it was like fans, family, friends, and I had like a really small circle of people around me that I listen to. I'll listen to everybody, but if you're in my circle, I'll definitely like listen to what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, that's a vibe. They was like, "We not done, so don't stop making music. We like your music, so that's dope." It's always important to have people, fans, family, friends pushing you because artists sometimes it's not easy all the time. I wanted to give up about 8 times, but
I've been
only
through
the strong
every
survive.
emotion.
What'd you say?
I've been through every single emotion. Like Nipsey Hussle said, I've been through everything.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like hard to keep going at some point. Like when things are not working, and then you have a kid, and it's like, man, I got to provide for my son. His music's not making me money. I got to get a job. It's a real struggle
Yeah, I understand.
at some point.
Okay. Okay, so what would you say is one of the hardest things you've ever had to overcome?
So being in Atlanta, my mom getting real sick, and having to make that decision whether to keep going with music or come back. I chose to come back. I gave up the whole group thing. I had to start all over again. Gave up everything just to be here for my mom.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so your mom's doing better and everything?
She's doing a lot better. She has COPD, so she's on a oxygen tank all the time and stuff. But she's doing okay.
Okay, good, good. Shout out to Mom Dukes. I think that's, it was a major sacrifice for you, but I know, she's so grateful to have your support with what she's going through as well. So definitely, that takes a big man to do that. So shout out to you for that. Um, okay, cool. So are you a sports fan at all? You like football or?
Yeah, I'm a diehard Niners fan, uh, and I'm a diehard Warriors fan as well. I used to be
Okay.
a baseball fan, but I just can't watch all those games. It's hard to catch all those games, and it's kind of boring when you're not actually at the event. It's not
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Baseball is boring if you're not there. And I've been to
yeah,
a couple, and the only thing I do there is drink. I don't know what the hell is
right,
going on, but they got
right,
they got the drinks on deck.
right, right, right.
Okay. All right, cool. So speaking of sports, I hear the Washington Redskins are retiring their logo and their name. Did you hear about that?
I heard that, on Google when I, logged into Google. It of course had that going on Google. I didn't really check it out, but I thought it was about time. I've heard a lot of things on the radio about people complaining about them having the Redskins as their logo and their name and stuff, and people are really mad about that stuff. So I'm glad they're changing it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about time. I mean, especially with all the things that are kind of going on right now, it's a lot of movements happening. There's the BLM
Yeah.
movement. A lot of people are fighting for something right now. So I think it is about time. Speaking of that, with everything that's going on in the world, we have that going on. Then there's COVID going on, which makes it like a
Right.
double whammy.
Right.
How are you dealing with those two things on top of normal life things?
Well, what's crazy is I've always had issues with the police. Like I'll be driving down the street and they just pull me over for no reason. And I'm adopted, so my mom is white, so she doesn't really know what goes on, when I'm not around her, when I'm driving by myself and police, just do stupid things to me. And one time, she didn't believe what was going on. She came with me for a ride and I got pulled over for like an air freshener. And they started searching my car, took me out the car. And I had nothing in there, but this is the BSL going on with that. So I'm glad things are happening right now because things got to change with the whole movement. It's been going on for a long time, but it's just now people got cameras on the whole thing. And with the whole COVID thing, I just stay inside the house. I got asthma myself, so if I catch this thing, I don't know, it wouldn't look too good for me. But I just stay in the house. I'm always in the studio, recording, writing.
Okay. All right, still keeping busy. I mean, that's so important. I mean, it's like I'm in the middle about it. It's like it's so much going on. I'm not even mad at the people that are trying to figure it out, but for the ones that are using this time to grind, to create, to make music, to market, it's definitely the perfect time to try to do that if you can kind of get out of the rut of what's actually going on. So that's good that you're keeping everything going.
Right.
So back to the music, Marcus. What are some of your musical influences or people that you grew up listening to?
Oh man, it was like a lot of Barry stuff, like Filthy Rich, E40, Too Short, I Am Sue. Um, who else? Uh, hmm. I like Kamaya too. She's cool. Eric King, uh, Kaylani. I love Kaylani. She's dope too. So those influences, and then like of course, like on the radio, when you turn on the radio, you always hear Drake, Russ. I like those types of people too.
Okay. Okay, you named some heavy hitters. I can't be mad at that list. Um, Drake, he's like been on top for so long. It's like Drake can do no wrong. Do you ever think he will fall from glory and not be like the hit maker, or you think Drake is like solid?
Nah, he has the melodies on lock. I mean, when you hear new Drake song, those melodies be crazy, and then the wordplay is crazy too. And it's like every song that comes on the radio is just solid. I love him.
Okay, well, we're gonna see. I think Drake's been solid so far. I'd be surprised if he don't put out a hit record.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
said he put out an interview, said he listens to his team still. Like before he puts out a record, I was watching an interview where he shows it to his team, and if his team, all his people on his team likes the record, he'll put that record out. So I think it's smart.
That's smart. And then especially if you Drake, you got the dopest team. He probably got the dopest ARs, PR people, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, his producer's on lock. I love his producer too. I think his name is 40. I think he's tight.
Yeah,
Definitely love.
absolutely. Okay. That's a vibe. Marcus, do you feel like with the music industry, do you think everything's going to go virtual for a little while? Or do you think that we'll return back to normal sooner than you think?
I think it'll be virtual for a while. They said they had a cure for the COVID thing, but it won't be released till January. So I think up until that point, I think it's gonna be virtual for a while, at least for like using things like that. I know there's still shows going on. I know labels are still taking meetings for artists and stuff, but I think they're doing virtual as well. So I think the virtual thing's gonna be going on for a while until we get like a vaccine.
Okay. Okay, so your homeboy hit you up and is like, listen, I got a section, I got some bottles, you know, it's gonna be some girls. You going to the club right now or you passing up on hanging out?
Nah, I mean I'm not gonna go to the club. I have a son to look forward to. I'm not trying to jeopardize my health for a bottle of girls, to be honest. Now, if it's a bag, like if it's a show, maybe, but I'll probably be suited up with like mask, gloves, and things like that, and I'm gonna dip right after. But just showing up for a club thing, nah.
Okay. All right. I'm with you because people been trying to get me out for so long. I'm like, y'all got me messed up. I'm not coming out right now.
Crazy right now too. When people actually get it, I mean, Kaiser. I was talking to a woman the other day. They said they have 50 people in Kaiser right now that they don't know what they're going to do with because they're not going to survive this COVID. So it's crazy right now. When she told me that, I'm like, this is not a joke.
It's rough. And it's
So
crazy because even my grandparents are like, they never seen anything like this. So it's like new to all of us.
yeah, not just the COVID, but also the movement that's going on right now. It's happening at the exact same time. It's crazy right now.
Right. What's the likelihood of that? Like, how?
Man, it's crazy, right? I
Yeah.
think it's
But
meant to be. I think it's meant to be to have the COVID, everybody inside the house, and then have all the footage of these police officers, and it just sparks up this whole riot movement. It's perfect timing for everything.
that's right. Everything's in time. And that's a major gem. That's a major jewel. Okay. So man, listen, if y'all tuning in right now, we got Marcus V on the call representing the Bay Area. So Marcus, if you could get on the phone and make a feature happen with anybody, major level, it could be A-list celebrity, B-list, C-list, who's somebody that if you could, you would want the chance to work with?
I like Kaylani. Kaylani's solid. I think our melodies would match. I like Kirko Banks. I know he's not really like A1, but I still be listening to his music. I know he's still dropping new music. Of course, Drake. Everybody compares me to Drake with my similar flows and melodies and stuff like that. I think he can make a cool record. Party Next Door. I like him too. Raven Justice. I've been trying to get him for a long, long time. And he's listening in. Like, let's tap in. Let's work. I've been trying to get him on a song for a long time. So.
Okay. Okay, bet. So you're melodic. Now some melodic guys can actually like sang. So can you like sang or you just nice with the melody?
I'm just nice with the melodies.
Okay.
Like I was struggling with that for a long time. Like when I first started doing music, I tried to really sing, but that wasn't my lane. I didn't like it. And then I really tried to rap. And when I was in Atlanta, I went to the studio called like Doug Take Studios, and the guy there, he was telling me to stay in the singing, like the melody, like melodic sound. So from then on, I just been working on my craft and making melodic music. And then Rest came out, and I was like, oh, okay, I could do that. I can definitely do that.
And I mean that's kind of a big wave. That's a big part of hip hop now. It wasn't always like when we were coming up. Like middle school, it was like T-Pain and like other people that kind of started to get into that. And really, you could take it further back. I think for me, like Bone Thugs were the first ones that I can think about that kind of had melody. At least, that my parents were listening to Bone Thugs and they had that nice little melody. Who do you think kind of created the wave for what's to happen? A West Coast person might say Bone Thugs, East Coast might say Ja Rule. Who do you think created that whole wave? It's a hard discussion.
Yeah, those are great artists, but I would say 50 Cent. I think 50 Cent has a melodic sound, you know, in the club. I think a lot of these joints that he's making were like melodic sounds. But Ja Rule too. Ja Rule was solid. I couldn't really figure out what he was. I mean, he was singing, rapping. It was kind of like I was like, "What is that?" And then
A
it
little bit of
wasn't
both.
really a thing. Nobody really was really doing that. And then Bone
Yeah,
Thugs, of course.
yeah.
When I was growing up, I really didn't listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony
Mm.
until Akon, linked up with them with that I Tried song, and I'm like, who is this group? These guys are solid. And I kind of did my research on them and stuff, and found all these other songs like Crossroads, things like that. But like 50 Cent too, Ja Rule, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Who else? T-Pain, of course. He started
Yes.
like a whole auto-tune movement. If it
Mhm.
wasn't for T-Pain, there wouldn't a lot of artists would not be on right now. The
Yeah.
auto-tune.
I'm gonna
I
have
think
to give it to
you have to
T-Pain.
have, yeah. I mean, you have to have like artists right now. Like most artists has some type of auto-tune on their vocals, but whether it's pitch correction, it has to be something like to make your vocals just real crispy. So
Okay.
T-Pain did all that for us.
I heard you mention 50 being one of your faves. Who you got? I guess it will be obvious your answer maybe. Who you got in the 50 versus T.I. that they're in talks of right now?
I would love to see that. I don't know. Like Ti has like a lot of music. Like that would be a great battle. I know Charlemagne was saying that Ti would wash him, but I don't know, man. 50 Cent got some bangers, man. I don't know. That would be a good one to watch. I would
Yeah.
love to watch
Yeah, we ready for it. Listen, I need y'all to make that happen so we can be in there because I'm gonna be writing the comments like this
that.
is
Me too.
lit.
Me too. Me too.
All right, cool. All right, so Marcus, I want to get into this record that we're gonna premiere here for the people in just a few minutes. Tell us a little bit about the new joint that we are pushing today.
Okay, so the new joint is called My Time. It's basically a song about feeling like I put in a lot of work over these years, and I'm just claiming my spot. Like I really feel like it's my time. Like I mastered these melodies. Like on my mixtape that's dropping July 28th, you'll hear on my tape like I have all different types of melodies. And this song right here just talks about everything. Talks about the struggle. Talks about all the BS I had to go through. So yeah, good song.
Okay. My time. Okay, it's lit. We're going to go ahead and play that joint for the people in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to first say thanks for being such a dope guest today on the show, Marcus V.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. We definitely going to be keeping up with you and your whole movement.
Likewise. Thank you.
Yes. And when this is all over, when COVID comes down, we love to have you come in studio and kick it with us.
I would love that. I'll definitely be down there.
All right, bet. It's a bet. We like to have fun too, so you're always welcome. And we're gonna go ahead and get into this record, man. But before we do that, Marcus V, please tell everybody where they can find you on social media and keep up with your movement.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at the official Marcus V Music, SoundCloud Marcus V, all streaming platforms Marcus V.